Hello, this is Donnie Rocket. I have a video from the OVKA LO206 Senior race number 5. Took place on June 2nd at G&J Kartway up in Camden, Ohio. Starting out, this is heat number 1. We had a P-pick for the day. I started in 4th position, and we were underway. You can see people jumping around trying to get that little scooch. Again, I started up in 4th, so I'm towards the front. Unfortunately, there will be no forward-facing footage from this heat because I did not turn, or I did not take my lens cap off the front of my front GoPro. Fortunately, my rear-facing footage captured a decent amount of action and wasn't incredibly shaky. So got Riley Galladay right there next to me. Not 100% sure who that is right behind Riley, and I think that's Keith Gaw behind him in the 60. It was a somewhat overcast day, and things got a little chillier as the day went on. This is a night race, so by the time we finish the night out, it is dark. The sun is down, and it's a bit cooler. My kart seemed like it was running pretty good in this first heat. I finished time-wise, I was kind of in the middle. Ran a 46.7. There was a lot of people in the 46.4, 5, 3, 7, all mid-46 range. So I was kind of right there. So I wasn't too concerned about adjusting my kart. I was more concerned about getting the line down. This is configuration 2B. Takes you through the bus stop on the back, and then the I don't know what they call the turn right before you hit the front stretch, but basically there's the easiest turn, the middle of the road turn, and then the hardest turn. This was the middle of the road turn. We're approaching the bus stop. This is not my favorite part. Right through here. If you bump any of those turtles, it'll knock your speed down. I went through it pretty smooth right there because Keith didn't gain on me. But as you'll see in laps to come, I'll bounce around, I'll clip the edges of those turtles a little bit, and Keith will close up on me. Fortunately, my kart's been running well as far as speed is concerned. I'm not really getting past on the straightaways much. I think for the next race, I'm going to double check some of my. I'm going to double check my alignment, my toe in, camber, all that good stuff. Which is all still a learning process. I really don't know what settings to put these things at, but right now I'm noticing a little bit of uneven wear on my front tires, so I think I can get a little bit more of the rubber down on the track than what's currently happening. So Keith's still driving around behind me. He's catching up to me. He gives me a little bump right there, but nothing bad. I really didn't know who was behind me at all. If you're someone watching this and you haven't raced these go-karts, and you have your little neck brace on and everything, it's kind of hard to look all the way around behind you, but you can check left or right, and that's about it. So someone's back there, but unless they pull up next to you on the left or the right, you can't really tell who it is. But back there going through the bus stop, Keith ran right up on me. I kind of clipped one of those turtles, and I knew someone was going to be right there, so I was a little nervous I was going to get past, but I still came out of it strong enough that it just closed up the gap. He wasn't able to get around me. So I think we're approaching the end here. I think there might be 1 or 2 more laps. Maybe this is the last lap, I'm not sure. It was an 8-lap heat. The second heat was also an 8-lap heat. And it was originally scheduled to be a 12-round final, but they bumped it down to 10 rounds, or 10 laps for the feature or the main. So Keith just blazed up on me right there. again, like I said, my kart's been running pretty well, so he wasn't able to really pull around me on that straightaway. I think right behind Keith is Joey Newsel in the 111 or the 111. And right now we're driving around. I'm in 10th place. I know that because the finishing order doesn't change. Nobody gets past me. And I finished 10th. 10th out of 17, which, I started 4th, so I dropped 6 places, but I still kind of stayed in the mix for the most part, which for me is good. I'm still learning the track and the different configurations. But it's definitely getting more fun. So if this is something you're considering doing and you haven't done this, it was a little nerve-wracking at the beginning. But once you race around these guys and you start to understand how the karts handle and how everybody drives the track, even if you can't drive it quite as good as somebody else, you know what they're going to be doing for the most part. So you'll know when to get out of their way and where to get out of their way. And it just becomes more fun. You can concentrate on trying to get faster around the track instead of just worrying about not screwing somebody up. So that's the end of Heat 1. Heat 2, I'm starting back in, I believe, 12th position. And I did realize at this stage of the game that I needed to take my lens cap off, so I have both front and rear facing footage. The highlights from this race will be quite short because it did not go well for me. I did have good expectations because my time's right in the middle. I thought maybe if I fooled around with my air pressure on my go-kart, I'd get a little bit faster maybe. That didn't turn out to be the case, and some of the changes some of the other racers did help their karts out a little bit. So some of them got a little bit faster and I got a little bit slower. So I didn't get tremendously slower, but I didn't get fast enough to really stay to cut through and pass anybody. But as you'll see, you'll see where I screw up here in a second. I'll explain it as we get there. I think we're taking one more lap before the start happens. Somebody must have been going a little bit too fast on the front row as we approached. So they call it off. All we do is take another little lap around and try again. Just for, the guy in the 16 right in front of me, I think he finished 3rd overnight, so he's one of the faster guys. And he must have been he probably started right directly behind me on that first heat. So we're going to get the green on this one. And we're off, and again, I believe we get through this pretty cleanly down here. Nobody goes around yet. But I think I'm already like maybe 1 or 2 karts up. And I'm kind of like, oh, this is going okay. And, now I've knocked off another 2 karts, so I'm probably in like 8th place right now. And I'm like, and I can look up there and I can see, I'm like, oh man, I'm in 8th place. And I got through those corners pretty good, and so I'm wailing on it right here, but I think I was a little too confident, a little overconfident, and around I went. And I just let it roll off the track so I wouldn't get plowed into by one of these other karts going about 40 miles an hour or so. End result, I just pull back on the track and drive around by myself for about 9 laps, or 7 laps, and finish 2nd to last. So, that puts me in the very back for the final, and we're at the last, minute of the video. Coming down here, got Keith in front of me. Somebody's to my, I think Justin Miller is to my direct left. You can't see him because he's right next to me. We get right around here, and there's just no room for both of us to go through, so I go straight through. Looked like Riley and Keith spun out. Justin made it through and popped out in front of me. And pretty much from here on out for the rest of the race, I only gained 2 positions. So it's pretty boring footage. So I just, trim that all off. Come on out to the track if you like this stuff. Check it out. If you're a veteran, hit me up in the comments or messages. You might be able to do this on the team. Have a good one. Bye.